You ever wish you had a blueprint for, building a more focused, more meaningful life? Well, it turns out one's been sitting around for about 2,500 years. So let's dive into this incredible text called the Maha-cattarisaka Sutta, or the Great 40, and see how it gives us this surprisingly practical framework for training the mind.
Right from the start, the text opens with this incredibly direct promise from the Buddha. This isn't some vague philosophical musing. It's an instruction manual. He's basically saying, okay, listen up. I'm about to give you the complete system, A to Z, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack here.
So, before we start laying any bricks, we need to know what the final house is supposed to look like, right? What is this noble right concentration that we're actually aiming for?
And there it is. The goal is this state called singleness of mind, a really deep, unshakable focus. But here's the kicker. You don't get there in a vacuum. The Sutta is clear that this state must be equipped with these 7 other factors. They aren't just nice-to-haves. They are the essential support system that makes this kind of powerful concentration even possible.
Every solid building needs a solid foundation. And in this system, the entire foundation is something called right view. The text couldn't be more clear about this. It says that of all the factors, right view is the forerunner. Literally everything else gets built on top of it.
So that naturally leads to the big question, right? If this one single thing is the foundation for everything else, what is it? What is this one particular view that has the power to change the entire direction of our life?
So what is this all-important view? Well, it really just boils down to one profound distinction. On one side, you've got wrong view. That's the belief that our actions don't really matter, that there's no real result from good or bad choices. And on the other side, you have right view, the simple understanding that yes, there are fruits and results of our actions. It's the core principle of cause and effect. It's the radical idea that what we do matters. To put that into today's terms, trying to live with wrong view is like navigating a new city with a broken GPS that keeps telling you all roads lead nowhere. You'll just go in circles, totally lost. Right view, on the other hand, is like having the correct, perfectly functioning map. It shows you the landscape and tells you, hey, if you turn here, you'll end up there. It gives you a reliable way to get where you want to go. Now, the text makes this really fascinating distinction. It says there's a worldly right view, which is basically understanding that good actions lead to a better life, better relationships, a better job. But then there's a transcendent right view. This is a much deeper insight. It's not just about improving your current situation. It's the view that leads to complete and total liberation. And that's the ultimate goal of this whole path. All right, so we've poured the foundation with right view. Now we can start putting up the walls. This next part is all about our conduct, how we act in the world. This is the ethical path. Now, what's so cool about this is that these aren't just random rules. They flow so logically from right view. I mean, if you truly believe your actions have consequences, then of course your intention, your resolve, is going to shift toward harmlessness. And from that harmless intention, your speech naturally becomes kinder. Your actions follow suit. Even the way you earn a living starts to line up with that core belief. See how each step just builds on the one before it? Okay, so we have a foundation and a structure, but a building is just a static thing, right? What turns this from a list of rules into a living practice? What's the engine that actually drives us down this path? And this is a really important point to get. This path isn't about, checking off right speech and then forgetting about it. It's this dynamic, interconnected system that needs constant energy and awareness to keep it going. And the Sutta gives us this beautiful image for how it works. It uses this phrase, run and circle around, to describe 3 qualities that are constantly weaving through and animating all those ethical steps we just talked about. They're the active ingredients. So here's the trio that powers the whole thing. You've got right view, that's our map, the guide we're always checking. Then there's right effort. That's the actual work of letting go of what's unhelpful and nurturing what is helpful. And finally, right mindfulness. And this is so crucial. It's the simple act of remembering to do it all, remembering to check the map, and remembering to put in the effort, in this moment and the next. So now we're at the summit. We've got the foundation, the structure, and the engine. Let's put it all together and finally figure out why on earth this thing is called the Great 40. The text lays out this absolutely beautiful causal chain. It shows this isn't a random to-do list, it's a process where each step perfectly sets the stage for the next one. It all starts with right view. That gives rise to right resolve, which then shapes your right speech, and so on, a perfect chain reaction that leads all the way to right knowledge and finally right release. It's a complete step-by-step path to freedom. And here's where the design gets really elegant. This path isn't just about adding good stuff. It's also about getting rid of the bad stuff. Think about it. When you actively practice right speech, its direct opposite, wrong speech, like lying or gossip, is naturally pushed out. You can't do both at the same time. Cultivating the one automatically gets rid of the other.
So where does the number 40 come from? Well, it's basically a complete accounting of the whole system. You have the 10 right or skillful factors from view all the way to release. And for each one of those you develop, its wrong counterpart gets abandoned. So that's 20 factors right there on the skillful path. The same logic works in reverse for the unskillful path. 10 wrong factors and the 10 right ones, they get rid of. So 20 plus 20 gives you the great 40. It's a complete map of both the way to freedom and the way to getting stuck. So, this ancient text gives us a full architectural plan for the mind. And it all begins with that one single piece, your view, that foundational belief that your actions truly matter. And that leaves us with one last, pretty important question to think about. If your view is your foundation, what are you building with your life right now?